Okay, next topic is DACL, downloadable ACL. ACL we know from CCNN, CCNP level, we know access control list. Okay, so what is downloadable ACL? Basically, it's also an ACL access control list, but it will be download automatically to your access layer switches automatically from Cisco ISE. So that's why it's called downloadable ACL. Those ACL which download automatically. So it means you don't need to put these ACL in all your switches. Suppose in your organization you have 100 switches, so you don't need to configure ACL in 100 switches. You just need to configure one downloadable ACL in Cisco ISE, and whenever somebody tries, so it will be download all those 100 switches automatically from Cisco ISE. Okay, so now this is called a downloadable ACL. Okay, so as I already told you, downloadable ACL configure an authentication server. Now we know authentication server. What is authentication server? Basically Cisco ISE. Instead, configure them on every single device. No need to configure these ACL on all your access layer switches. So it means DACL provide benefit of single point of configuration. We need to change ACL. So suppose tomorrow you want to change these ACL, you don't need to go to 100 switches or 1000 switches. You just need to go Cisco ISE and change there, which we will see in the lab. DACL need to configure only in one place. Definitely in Cisco ISE, I already told you, on one device, definitely in ISE, and apply the same ACL on many devices. I already explained you this point. So when user establish connection and authenticate, need download ACL and apply. We already discussed what is NAD. Basically switches. Switches will download when a user establish connection and it been authenticate. So this Cisco switch will download these ACL and will apply whatever you restrict, it will be restricted due to this ACL. So it means the DACL are strong tool to limit the access dynamically as a user access the network. So it's a dynamic tool. So whenever user try to access the network, so it's a strong tool. It will download automatically and it will restrict the network access for those users. By using downloadable ACL, user can be restrict according to related policy. So whatever policy you put for someone, you can use downloadable ACL and those user will be restricted. DACL is configured on authentication server and can be downloaded on multiple devices. We already know this point. It provides single point of configuration, single point of modification. No need to provide them on all devices, just on single place. So these are called downloadable ACL. So the beauty is you can put this in your policy, in your authorization policy, suppose. So when employee try to connect to your network, so they will give them DACL permit IP any. Suppose you are just, suppose that you want to give full access to employee. So when employee try to connect, so it will give permit IP any to the network. But if contractor connect, so downloadable ACL will deny IP host and it will deny some host and rest of them they will give them access. So look at, now you can use them in your policy that if employee connected, take this action, download these ACL, restrict them to these things, and if contractor connect, restrict them to these things. So that's why this the beauty. We will see, we will make a policy like this for contractor and employee in the lab. So suppose this a user, when they connect it, look at permit IP host to any, permit any DHCP, permit any DNS, and deny any. Again you can use decal. So this host will be permit to this IP, this host will be permit for any DHCP and for any DNS, rest of each and everything will be deny. So when this user log into your network, this guy will be denied for each and everything beside DHCP, DNS and this IP. Suppose this IP is a Radius server IP. So for this purpose we can use these decal. Rather than to configure in each and every switch, we just need to configure them on Cisco ISE. So as per your policy, decal will be applied to that group or that user or whatever you use the policy. And I give an example here. So this is called downloadable ACL. So we study theoretically what is a decal. And next video we will see the lab, how we can perform. We will make a policy like this as well, and we will check them journally as well, that how it is work and how to configure them. So this is called decal, downloadable ACL, access control list.